I am attorney Keith Seymour, a partner at Axum Law Chambers, and we are here for this press statement with respect to the mysterious death of Dinari McAlmont, the Atlantis on Paradise Island. Accompanying me at my chambers are his mother, Michelle Bacchus McAlmont, and his father, Desmond McAlmont. His mother has a picture of him. Can you show that picture, please? Put it a little closer. That is a picture of him, 23 years old. And I will start the press statement. I'll read it. It's a prepared statement, after which we will entertain a few questions. Nassau, Bahamas, April the 10th, 2025. The family of Dinari McAlmont, a 23-year-old who tragically lost his life while in the Bahamas, published information as they continue to seek justice and clarity surrounding the circumstances of his death. Dinari McAlmont, born on January the 16th, 2002, was traveling with his mother, Michelle Bacchus McAlmont, and father, Desmond McAlmont. The family checked into Atlantis Paradise Island on the evening of Friday, April the 4th, 2025, at approximately 8:30 p.m. After dinner that evening, Dinari left to go for work and was last seen around that time. Concern grew when Dinari did not return and calls to his phone went unanswered. In the early morning hours of Saturday, April the 5th, around 5 a.m., the police contacted Mrs. Bacchus McAlmont to question her about her son, informing her that Dinari had been found lifeless on the beach. The family's anguish was further compounded by the fact that they were not allowed to view their son's body immediately or at all. Despite multiple requests, they were only permitted to see a facial view of Dinari on Monday, April 7th. The viewing revealed beach sand on his face and visible bruising, raising suspicions that he may have been assaulted, leading to his untimely death. The family has requested an autopsy to be conducted by the Princess Margaret Hospital. However, as of today's date, the McAlmont family has not received any comprehensive information from authorities. They have not been allowed full access to view their son's remains, nor have they been provided with any substantial updates regarding the status of the investigation. To date, no arrests have been made, and the police have stated only that the matter remains under investigation. This response is unacceptable to the grieving family, who deserve transparency, accountability, and justice for their son. The McAlmont family is now making a public appeal. If anyone has information regarding the whereabouts of Dinari McAlmont or witnessed any incident involving him between 8:30 p.m. on Friday, April the 4th, and 5 p.m. on Saturday, April the 5th, they are urged to contact the Royal Bahamas Police Force immediately. This is a devastating time for the McAlmont family, and they are employing anyone with information, no matter how insignificant it may be, to come forward. The family remains steadfast in their pursuit of truth and justice for Dinari. Thank you very much, and we will now entertain any questions that you may have.
For me, Joshua Williams from R News again. Speaking to the parents, I know the police released a statement saying that the cause of death was drowning. Now, of course, you would have seen pictures of bruises on his face. So is this explanation acceptable to you? And if not, why not?
No, it's not acceptable to me. Because looking at my son and looking at the right side of his face, I know he was battered. The police had no right to release that. We had a meeting prior on Tuesday, and I was told that that was the first phase of the autopsy because I questioned the validity of what they were saying. From what I saw in the photograph they showed me of my son on the Monday that we had to go to identify him, he would have had either strangulation or something going on with him because he had, as I said, a lot of clear gunk, like when you gag and it's there on the mouth. It was there on the mouth. So no, I'm not accepting that because there is no way Denari would have gone to the beach. Denari does not go to the beach. We just came from Punta Cana in January. He did not go to the beach. He is not a beach person. And I told the police them that on day one. If you tell me that my son was at the pool, I'll say okay. But if you tell me he's at the beach, it means somebody beat him and took him there. At that time, I didn't see his body. I didn't see him, but I knew it could never have been him.
Mr. Williams, I just want to add to my clients respond to you that she is in fact a registered nurse. She's a professional in the medical field, and when one looked at the press release that was done by the Royal Bahamas Police Force, it seems very inconclusive and and very unprofessional because it indicates a post-mortem examination was performed and the pathologist's findings reveal that the deceased died as a result of drowning. And further, the police are waiting a forensic toxicology analysis and investigations are ongoing. And yet still, you're going to say on the next line that said foul play is not suspected. That you're saying foul play is not suspected without even investigating, without even finding out the circumstances, without even reviewing footage of cameras around the Atlantis property. And then you're going to say at the ultimate paragraph, the matter will be forwarded to His Majesty's coroner. So at least what should have been said in this report is that everything is inconclusive. We cannot conclude whether or not, in fact, there was he did die as a result of drowning. Because if one on one side of their mouth is saying that he went to the beach, and who goes to the beach and is going to drown in 2 foot of water voluntarily? So obviously there are circumstances surrounding as to why he ended up on the beach that need to be answered. So they have to be properly and thoroughly investigated before any conclusions can be made.
And I just do a little follow up on that. I'm sorry. The first day of the incident being reported to us, we were told it's not a homicide. I asked at that time, does the body have tattoos? We cannot examine the body because the body has a lot of sand, so we did not examine the body. But yet the police is trying to tell me, the detective, it's not a homicide. Then on the day on Tuesday when we went to the briefing for this, again the term was used, it's not a homicide. Now, how are you just deciding it's not a homicide with inconclusive summary of events?
Right. Go ahead. Thank you.
Jorino at JCN. The beach on Paradise Island is pretty lengthy. Can you say exactly where on the beach he was found, and if Atlantis is cooperating in terms of providing camera footage and things of that sort?
We aren't a part of any part of the investigation, so we aren't aware of where that Atlantis is cooperating. They said, however, that he was found by the rock. We only know about one set of rock on that part of the beach where it's close to the cove area where Thunderball was filmed. So we're thinking on that side. So it will take, if the family said that they were at Anthony's and he went all the way to the hotel, from the hotel to the cove is a significant walk. and with the hundreds of cameras, not hundreds, but with the scores of cameras that Atlantis have, someone should have picked up something with this young man being going to the beach, whether he would have been going there voluntarily or otherwise.
And to add to that, when we went to the criminal report the other day, when I asked about that, they said he was found on the seashore. I said, where is the seashore? He was found on the seashore. So they're not consistent.
We're not getting, in essence, we're not getting information with regards to the investigation.
May I ask if Dinari had met anyone while he was here? Did he make friends with anybody, any acquaintances, someone perhaps from who was visiting as well?
Dinari knew no one in Nassau. No one. This is the family. This is a family trip, and they just reached. Yeah. They just reached. They went to Anthony's to eat. If you would recall, on Friday was a very unusual weather day. It was very cold. It was raining and it was windy. So to say that he went to the beach, it really is a stretch voluntarily. I mean, he was dressed to go to eat. He wasn't. He didn't have any. He didn't tell his mom and dad anything about going to the beach. So we always. If you think back on Friday, Friday was a horrible weather day. To talk about going to the beach.
And no, he did not go to the beach. I remember checking in with him at about 10 something that night. And I said, where are you? Because I always do that with my kids. And he says, oh, I'm going to grab something now to eat. And I know somebody who was talking with him in America. And he was not going to any beach. He was actually went to eat and then he went back to the Royal. So no, he didn't go to the beach. He doesn't go to the beach.
And he didn't know anybody really in Nassau. Right. In Nassau.
Hi, Attorney Mark Benchop Radio. There's obviously a lot of inconsistencies with regards to the police treatment of this situation. Sorry. Are you at all concerned of the obvious inconsistencies of the police there in Bahamas as it pertains to this case, in terms of the timeline, in terms of the cause of death, in terms of whether he drowned, whether he was beaten at the hotel? What is your take on all of these inconsistencies? And secondly, what cooperation are you guys getting from the hotel? Have you guys been able to have access to CCTV footage or whatever else?
Mr. Benchcroft, my clients only want the truth, and they only want the questions answered. They don't have the resources to make a determination as to where people are when they move on the property at Atlantis. Atlantis has the ability. We all have been there. That they have cameras everywhere, so they are able to be able to cooperate if they are willing to provide footage of where he would be. In terms of whether he was with somebody, whether he was in the casino, whether he was in one of the restaurants. The footage picks you up, and it gives the impression as well that if she was told by the police from that morning on the 4th, that night on the 5th, and not to even be able to allowed to see him physically, it doesn't look good. It creates suspicion. It doesn't. She only wants to see her son. She came there with him. They didn't ask for this. She came there with him. And the least they could do is to allow her to see her son. You're going to show him a picture and say that, well, you can't see, here's a picture. It's a travesty. It's wrong. And even if, it gives one the impression whether or not, in fact, someone maybe I'm trying to hide something. Why you don't want her to see him? Why you don't want her to see him? You don't want her to see bruises? Or you don't. Why? it creates an unnecessary impression. You know, that's what it did.
So, Mr. Benskop, on that also, when the police came to the hotel on the reef at about 2 a.m. on the 5th, and they told me that they were looking for my son because he spat on some staff. I asked to see the staff. They said I cannot see the staff. I said I'm trying to reach my son. I cannot reach him. Oh, we have his phone. I said, oh, you got his phone? They couldn't tell me. I went over to the security. We take the shuttle from the reef. We went over to the Royal, where all the activities is. We went to the chief security. He just said he's a wrong. He went wrong there on the right. But the chief security at that point owed an obligation to me and my family to look for my child. I am coming and making a report to you at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., between 2 and 3 a.m., that we cannot find this child because and the police is looking. And you were saying that you didn't even help me. We sat there, two parents just on the resort, don't know where to look. We started looking in the dark. I mean, it's prosperous, very, very bad. It's not becoming of no place that you have to pay them money. And they lied on my son to say he spat on somebody because they wanted to make an allegation so that they can go after him. He is not. He will never do that. I said I had to tell. I said my child, no. But okay. You said that I'm still going to go look for him. I couldn't find him. That is not my son.
And Mr. Bancroft, all we're saying as well is that the police from whatever time it was when they're saying that an incident occurs owed my clients a duty of care to let them know what happened. We just don't know anything about what happened, how he got how he got sand on him. You realize how far he has to walk to go from the towers to the beach. You have a long walk to go from the towers to you even pass a couple of pools when you're going all the way to and if they said by the Black Rock, you even have a longer walk. So somebody knows something. I would be careful what I'm saying. Somebody knows something about what happened. And all it is we want the investigation to reflect what has happened because my client is owed a duty of care. And she paid all of that money to come to Atlantis to go on vacation, that they be in a safe environment. That's all she wants, a safe vacation. That's what she purchased. And she didn't bargain for this.
Just to be clear.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Did she say that there was a report that he spat on someone and there was a altercation? Because that wasn't made clear earlier.
It was not an altercation. It was something that was told to my client by the police. It was just told, just in a manner of just saying that, well, he would have had an incident, and that is what prompted us as well. That if he had an incident, would this incident have provoked the security at Atlantis to become involved? See, we don't know anything. And that is what they need to tell us because it had to have been initiated from something. And how did the police get involved? Did the Atlantis police, as a result of that, were contacted by the Atlantis security? You see, it's too many unanswered questions. And as my learned friend, Mr. Ben Croft, indicated, it's too much openness. It's too much inconsistencies. So close the inconsistencies. Do a proper investigation, and don't come to no conclusion until you do that.
And I have written them asking them to allow me access or to the security videos, the surveillance, and I give them a short window from April the 4th at 7 p.m. to April the 5th at 5 a.m. I mean, that's 6 hours work. That's 6 days gone. And nobody can allow me to look at those videos so I can identify what went wrong with my child.
Yes, she's on the right to know. She's on the right to know. This isn't some gentleman, 23-year-old man that has any comorbidities or any medical condition. This is a healthy young man. He doesn't have any drug problem. As far as, we don't know of any type of anything like that. So you got a healthy man in one hour, and the next hour dead. It's a problem. It's a problem. It's troubling. It's troubling.
And then you know that I went to the Royal, and the security guy was right there. He could have looked at the camera and said, "Okay, here is your son located at this point. You can go get him, or let me assist you to get it." There was no help from no one. As I said, we went to resorts before. I have never seen nothing like this.
It was just a follow-up question with regards to all of these inconsistencies. It certainly doesn't, in my opinion, make the Bahamas police look good at all. But has there been any update from the Commissioner of Police, Ms. Knowles? One, and secondly, we have heard of this sort of mysterious kind of unfortunate situation before. And now again with Dinari McAlmont. Do you, and I'm sure that you probably, because I'm seeing a lot of these comments from especially outsiders, that there appears to be a cover up between the Bahamas police and the hotel with regards to this incident or maybe previous incident in order not to put a dent on tourism in Bahamas?
As you're aware, Leonard, each case is based on its own merits, and certainly if you were speaking about a previous case regarding a transgender individual, that is not even close to being this type of situation. You have Dinari, who was at Atlantis, always in Atlantis's view, always on their cameras, always on their property, always on Paradise Island. That is different. That is different than being somewhere out in the bushes. Okay, you are a place where you ought to be secured, and that is all. Miss Barker's McAlmont is saying. Just show us. Just convince us. There's nothing to prohibit them from saying, "Mommy and Daddy, here's the footage. This is him. He went out and he put his head in the water and he drowned himself. This is him doing it." Nothing to prohibit them from doing that. But if they have footage that does something else, we're sure that he was assisted in his death, then we have an issue. And the absence of the facts, the absence of it, is what needs to be answered and addressed. And I'm happy that last paragraph said that Her Majesty's coroner is going to deal with that, because the coroner deals with any suspicious death. And certainly this letter, this press release from the Royal Bahamas Police Force should have at least said that it's a suspicious death.
Yeah.
Should have at least said that. At least.
Yeah.
It's in. I said it say that the coroner's report is inconclusive. Because if you're doing a coroner's report and you see someone with bruising on their face, you can't just flat out and say the person died from drowning without saying that it may be a homicide. I'm just saying, it eliminates me speculating and the tons of comments, troubling comments that were read, from these things that were posted yesterday. It creates a bad sight, and I really hope that the commissioner follows this up, because it's very serious. It's a whole death of a young man, 23-year-old man. So you're not going to bury this under the hatch like that. It's not gonna happen.
We've had a lot of future plans,
Yeah, there's whole life ahead of him, 23 years.
And it's really so painful, because I had booked just hotels, and then the dad said, no. Let's get a resort. I canceled the hotel to take a resort to come and get my Sunday.
Let me just say one thing, Mr. Benchcroft. I must apologize for not answering your one of your questions. You indicated what happened, and as a result of the incident, my clients just could not continue to stay at that property. They had to move to another property in Cable Beach to continue their investigation for their son. So they could not have stayed on there because they were all in one room and they could not have lived in there knowing that there was a bed in there for him in that room. So they could not continue there.
Do the family intend to commission their own independent autopsy?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's a good thing in light of the circumstances. That's the least that can be done. Fresh eyes.
I know it may have been mentioned, Ben Sharp here again, that the parents have not been able to see the body. I don't know if I got it correctly. Have you been able to see the body, Mr. and Mrs. McAlmont? And if not, is this unusual that the police would prevent parents to even take a quick glimpse of the body just for identification purpose?
I guess it's all on a case by case basis, but in an instance like this, when someone is traveling from the United States, it is common courtesy to have that done. And for the sake of full disclosure, they were only allowed to view the body at the funeral home this morning for a couple minutes, and only the face. As you know, that the body did go through the first autopsy, and there's the results of blood, etc., and the Y thing on the chest, etc. So the body was wrapped, but she will have an opportunity once she gets home to view the body properly. If she wasn't allowed to view the body as she would have liked, she just saw his face. So, but the first time, Mr. Benchcroft, she would have been shown a picture. So only when it came out of the police care was she allowed to see her son.
I detect Jerino here. I detect the accent. Is the family from one of our sister Caribbean nations?
They're originally from Grenada, but they are U.S. citizens. Guyana. They are U.S. citizens from Baltimore, living in Baltimore. Living in Maryland, sorry. Maryland. They are U.S. citizens, though. They are U.S. citizens.
So, attorney, where do you go from here as it pertains to the case? People seem to the Bahamas police, and this is not pointing any finger at them. I know the Commissioner of Police, Ms. Knowles, said that there would have been an update on this matter. Outside of that, where do you go from here as it pertains to seeking justice for this family?
The good thing about the press release is that the matter is being forwarded to Majesty's coroner, and secondly, we know from their own report that the autopsy report is incompleted. To be nice, it is incompleted. If you have a forensic toxicology report, how can you conclude an autopsy? So there are some things that they need to do, and it's going to be forwarded to the coroner. As you know, the coroner has coroner will make recommendations as to whether or not there will be a hearing, and more than likely there would be if there's a suspicious death, and some questions need to be answered from some people, which could result in persons being charged in the Supreme Court. So we are going to follow up on it legally to make sure that every step of the way it happens. And I certainly hope that the Madam Commissioner does intervene and clarify this thing up that this is inconclusive and that more work needs to be done with respect to it.
And I am hoping that once I get the autopsy done, I'm probably going to ensure that we do a comparative review and get to the bottom of it. And my thing at this point, I think somebody should have been arrested by now. They cannot identify the person that they said is fatal. They needed to identify the people that beat him. It's easy to get that done. It's 6 hours of work. It's not going to take so long to review a case. You know, in my line of work, I got to submit abuse to the state within 5 working days. This is long. This has taken too long to conclude. And I got to conclude it with detailed statement and everything. So they are really not doing their job. I think they're covering up some staff. Atlantis might be a good place, but they need to get the criminals out. They are criminals on the result.
I think to further add to what my clients did, and I honestly believe that once the documentation regarding the footage, the necessary footage tracking his activity from 8:30 on to 5 o'clock in the morning. Once that footage is provided, many questions will be answered, and definitely the cooperation of Atlantis is paramount.
So far, Atlantis Resort, have they reached out to the family to even extend their condolences? And secondly, have you, as counsel for the family, been able to review or any information shared as it pertains to the investigation by the police? Because again, not want to repeat myself, but there seem to be a lot of holes in the police story.
I'll start off with Spencer by saying that as counsel for them, we did reach out to the police, who said that they were conducting an investigation and that they would be released. They would be doing a news release. They did come with the news release, but they now no other information was forthcoming. I know that they would have spoken to my clients, but they did not. They will speak.
No, and Atlantis had not reached out to us personally to give our condolences. I saw it on a news brief that they're thing, but to reach out to us personally, no.
I can say that that the entity where they are now, I won't say their name, but I can say that the managers did come and give them condolences.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Atlantis did.
No,
I'm surprised at that.
I just saw it on the news.
I hope that is corrected. I hope that is corrected. I hope that is corrected because we won't sit here and lie on them. But the entity where they are now, they did. I was present when they did. They came. The managers came over and gave her condolences, her and her husband, and they, you know.
And then finally, I know you said counsel Ben Shapiro again. Sorry, the guys who think that I may have a lot of questions, but the parents are from Guyana. Can you say exactly whereabouts in Guyana and a little background of you guys in Guyana?
I am originally from there. Super Bowl worked a long time in the city, but we came up here in 2002. And at that time, yes, we came to the U.S. in 2002.
They came to the U.S. in 2002, and they're now full-bred U.S. citizens.
Yeah. And my husband is from the Berbice area. Berbice area.
I don't know about it now, but I will research it.
And finally, for me, can we hear a little bit more about Dinari? Some of the things he did. Was he an athlete? What was his goals in life?
So Dinari actually, when he was in high school, yes, he played basketball. I think earlier in life he did some football, but he played basketball. He was actually in music, doing recording in studio. He started college. He took a break from college. His plan was to go back because he started to do IT, and he went to PG Community College in Maryland. And then he took a break, and then he went into the studio business. So he's doing recording. His plan was to start back this semester coming up, and he wanted to change the HVAC because their dad does electrical work. So once he did HVAC, he's going to take over what the dad was doing so that way he can bridge. So he was trying to go into like a mechanical that kind of hands-on work. I think his dream was to be his own person, so he wanted to do his own thing. Dinari was a very, very loving child to me. I will miss him so much whenever he comes and he hugs you, he talks to you, he hugs, he squeezes you. He was so affectionate. If you're talking to him, he gives you a tap on the shoulder, nice light tap. That was Dinari.
Good guy. He's a good guy. I've just gone too soon. That's it. Anything further?
Yeah, he goes to church. We go to Unity Church because even my mom, Unity Center on Life is like a no, it's not an evangelical. It's more like a meditation kind of thing, and they teach you truth and those things. Because even my mom was like, she didn't even know he was missing, and she says, "Hey, Dinari missed church last Sunday, and Chewy comes to church this Sunday." I said, "Okay, I'll tell him." Because I didn't want her to know that he was missing and we're over here until when we realized that he's dead. Then I gotta tell her. But yeah, he looks forward to go to church.
Thank you. Any further questions, Chris? That being said, thank you all very much. My contact is 445-4510. I think that's on my communications, and certainly I'm free to answer any further questions and from my clients. I thank you all for taking time out, and you all have a good day. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I can say a lot to the US press.